Hello everyone and welcome back to my B&B Everyday YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. At the Cliff House, Steffi expressed her happiness that Finn was home, but he sounded counted down by commodity. She asked about the big news he'd been meaning to partake, and Finn revealed that it was life-changing commodity from his history. Steffi incontinently allowed. It might involve a case, but Finn explained that it was particular. He also participated that the news involved a woman from his history, someone Steffi had met. He dithered before admitting it was Poppy, his aunt. Steffi was shocked, and Finn explained that when he was 18, he'd been involved with Poppy. Steffi was affrighted, and Finn expressed how delicate it had been for him to deal with this retired part of his life. Oh, and that wasn't each. He'd an indeed bigger secret to partake. At the sanitarium, Poppy had a moment of emotional vulnerability, and Lee noticed her torture. Poppy admitted that she wasn't physically sick but was floundering emotionally, particularly due to Luna's situation. Lee tried to offer her support, expressing remorse for not being there for her family in the history, especially after the woeful events that led to Finn's simulated relationship with his kinsman. At Il Giardino, Sheila had an unanticipated hassle with Remy, who was hoping to get his job back. Sheila was originally reticent to offer him help, but after some discussion, she suggested he take on the name Dario to gain Bill's favor. Remy, intrigued by the occasion, agreed. Back at Bill's house, Remy came home with him to fix the A/C and was paid a generous sum. As he readies to work, Luna appeared, and they had a brief exchange before Remy recalled her being involved in a double homicide. Luna nervously explained that she was indeed the intern, and Remy sounded stupefied by the disclosure. Poppy rushed into Finn's office, and he wasted no time advised her that he was planning to tell Steffi that Luna was his son. Poppy refocused out that Finn had been working lifelessly to avoid the discussion, which Finn admitted. He expressed his frustration with the situation, believing that deceitfulness had led them then. He also reflected on how different Luna's life could have been if he'd been involved, but Poppy had no way wanted to disrupt his life. Poppy bothered about the implicit consequences of Finn telling Steffi the verity, questioning whether it would break his marriage. But Finn was determined to be honest, believing it was the right thing to do. He left to tell Steffi the verity, though doubtful of the outgrowth. Meanwhile, at the Precipice house, Steffi and Liam were agitating Kelly's schedule and co-parenting. Liam brought up how close they had come to losing Kelly due to Luna, which caused Steffi to reflect on the traumatic jests. She made it clear that she hoped no way to encounter Luna again. As they talked, Liam admitted he felt lost and out of sync with his prospects, especially since he and Steffi were no longer together. He confessed that his birthday had been a memorial of how different effects were compared to what he'd imagined. Steffi and Liam participated a quiet moment, when she presented him with a manual cookie and a candle. "Make a want, Liam." Latterly, as Finn arrived home, Steffi ate him with a kiss, but Finn was preoccupied, wondering how to tell her the verity about Luna. At Bill's place, Luna plotted with her situation, feeling trapped by her ankle examiner and her once conduct. She expressed guilt for her once jest, particularly towards Steffi, and was frustrated with her confinement. Bill reminded her that she couldn't take pitfalls and demanded to change. Luna admitted she endured for a life outside the constraints of her current reality, but she knew her family would no way accept her back if she didn't prove she had changed. Brooke prompted Ridge to return to Forrester, averring that both he and Eric belonged there. She emphasized that Ridge also belonged at home with her, not with Taylor. She assured him that she didn't watch about the CEO position, and would willingly give it up for him. At the same time, Steffi and Taylor suspected about Ridge's whereabouts. Steffi entered a textbook from Finn, informing her that he was working another double shift. She expressed disappointment, noting that they hadn't truly connected since their anniversary. Taylor comforted her that Finn was devoted and reliable. As for Finn, he sat alone in his office, looking at prints of Steffi and Luna. He resolved to tell Steffi the verity about Luna. Meanwhile, in the wardrobe area, Zend and Daphne suspected about Ridge's return to the office, chancing it indeed more surprising that he was with Brooke. Daphne misdoubted that Steffi and Taylor would be pleased with this development. Daphne Rose seized her phone and called Steffi with all the office gossip. While Steffi was certain that Brooke had possessed Ridge, Taylor remained confident in Ridge's commitment to her, suspecting that Brooke was contending for him to return. Back in the design room, Ridge brazened Brooke about Hope's part in the company's bouleversement. He indicted her of using Carter to get what she wanted, calling it insupportable. Although Brooke admitted that Hope had made miscalculations, she defended her son's conduct, averring that she only wanted support. Ridge still remained adamant that Hope demanded to be held responsible. When Brooke professed her love for him and claimed they belonged together, Ridge gave her a sad look and walked down. Hope and Carter bandied Ridge's influence. Carter admitted that he felt shamefaced about taking over the company, while Hope encouraged him not to waver, arguing that Ridge and Steffi had manhandled them and didn't earn control. Hope prompted Carter to stand his ground, refusing to yield to Ridge's demands. She declared that Forrester Creations was theirs now and pledged not to let Ridge mandate the terms of his return. At Forrester, Hope was shocked to find Carter and Ridge embracing after Ridge had helped Carter tend to his injured hand. Carter expressed remorse over how their fellowship was affected, but Ridge responded compactly when Hope asked why he was there, remarking on the company's changes since his departure. Meanwhile, Brooke and Katie bandied the challenges of Brooke's new part as CEO, which felt like a balancing act. They both noted how Hope was the only one truly celebrating the jewelry launch, and Brooke lamented that Ridge should have been there to partake in the success. Steffi, Taylor, and Zen continued to bandy the pressures girding the preemption. Steffi believed that Brooke only watched about herself and her family, and she expressed dubitation that Brooke would try to stop Hope. Still, Taylor held out stopgap that Brooke could appeal to her son's sense of decency. Meanwhile, Ridge brazened Hope about her involvement in the company's preemption, averring that it would eventually lead to disaster. Hope fired back, claiming that Ridge and his son had made the plant poisonous and incriminating him of no way supporting important women. Latterly, Brooke and Ridge had a tense discussion, where she supplicated him to return to the family and the company. She admitted that she only took the CEO position to help Carter, and if he returned, she'd reluctantly step down. Despite her pleas, Ridge remained firm in his station, criminating Hope of manipulating Carter and turning the company into commodity unrecognizable. As he left, he refocused out that Carter's success had been erected on ill-gotten earnings. Alone, Hope tried to assure Carter, who sounded equivocal about the situation, as the pressure between all parties continued to mount. At Forrester Creations, Ridge brazened Carter about his treason, reminding him of the damage he'd caused by taking over the company. Ridge indicted him of stealing from his own family, betraying his stylish friend, and ruining connections. Carter still claimed he was guarding the company rather than harming it. Ridge blamed Carter for immolating everything for a woman who only turned to him when she demanded commodity. Carter justified his conduct by claiming he'd pictured of taking control from those who misruled the company. Ridge saw a man consumed by fear and guilt, advising Carter that his conduct would ultimately destroy him. Meanwhile, Hope expressed frustration to Brooke about the ongoing conflict. She believed Carter had done the right thing despite his guilt, and claimed that Ridge and Steffi had always dismissed him. Brooke sympathized with Carter's internal struggle and refocused out that he'd destroyed his fellowship with Ridge. Hope still was determined to stand by Carter, refusing to let Ridge manipulate his feelings. She believed they were eventually changing the poisonous culture at Forrester Creations, and couldn't let guilt stand in the way of progress. Brooke still questioned whether Carter could truly be happy if he could indeed face himself in the glass. At the Forrester manse, Steffi remained determined to reclaim the company, induced that Carter's recent success would make it harder for him to change course. Zend observed that while everyone sounded equivocal about the preemption, Hope remained celebratory, putatively unconscious to the pressure. Meanwhile, in the main office, Ridge and Carter continued their battle. Ridge reminded Carter of their long-standing fellowship, questioning how he could betray him so fluently. As feelings ran grandly, Carter eventually admitted that he missed their fellowship and considered Ridge a family. Overcome with emotion, he embraced Ridge, who dithered before returning the clinch. At that moment, Hope walked by, stunned to find the two men in gashes.